What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2017 movie Cult of Chucky. So, in this movie, Nika is now in a mental hospital after the events of Curse of Chucky, where everyone thinks that she murdered her family, and she's undergoing therapy and stuff, and they've kind of somewhat convinced her that she killed her family and everything, and that it wasn't really Chucky and everything, and out of the blue, a Chucky doll is shipped to the mental hospital, and people are starting to die and everything, and Nika's questioning whether it's actually herself or if it's Chucky. And also we find out that Andy Barkley has been trying to help Nika and try to reach out to her and help get her out of the mental hospital, because he knows that Chucky's alive and everything, and he still has a severed head from the Chucky that he shot at the end of Curse during that post-credit scene. So he's trying to figure out a way to get her out of there and save her before Chucky gets to her. But yeah, this is a really fun movie. I absolutely love this one. I think it's a lot of fun and everything, but it's not one of my most favorites in the franchise. Not really because it's bad or anything, it just, you can't fit all of them really high up and everything, so it won't be very high on my ranking, but it's not because it's bad. I really like the story, and the setting is really good and everything, and we get some really good, interesting new characters in this as well. And of course you get Nika back, and she's once again played by Fiona Dorff, and she's absolutely perfect in the role once again. Although I do think her performance in Curse of Chucky was a little bit better, she was still really good in this one. And it's awesome getting to see Alex Vincent back as Andy, although I was really disappointed with how they used him in this movie. Like I really wish we would have gotten to see him a lot more. He would have had more to do with the plot, but it was awesome getting to at least see him again. And Jennifer Tilly is back as Tiffany, and she's once again really good too. And this does make a few little references to Seed of Chucky when they mention her looking like Jennifer Tilly and stuff, but they don't really mention Glenn and Glenda like Don Mancini had talked about including them in this movie, but they ended up not being in here and everything. I'm kind of curious to see where they would go with Glenn and Glenda in a future movie and everything, just out of curiosity. Even though I wasn't real crazy for those characters in Seed, I kind of am curious. I was hoping maybe we'd at least get a glimpse of what's going on with them in this one, but it ended up not happening. But as for the new characters, we got some pretty good new ones. Dr. Foley, he's not a likable character and everything. He's actually a big jerk and everything, and he's one of those characters that you root for Chucky to kill and everything, and he gets what's coming to him. It's really brutal death, and probably my favorite kill in the whole movie. Then you got Madeline, who's this woman who thinks that the Chucky doll is her baby that she killed and everything. She's really good character and everything. She's kind of weird, but I liked her. And Claire, played by Grace Lynn Kung, is really good too. She's this character that doesn't believe Nika's story and everything, thinks she's just a crazy killer, and she ends up finding out that Chucky's alive and has this freak out and stuff, and she gets strapped to this bed and everything. Her death is pretty brutal too. Chucky kills her, and then you got multiple Malcolm, who's another one of my favorite characters. He has like multiple personalities, and everything, and he's a somewhat love interest to Nika. I really liked him too, but all of the characters in here are pretty good and everything, and they all kind of stand out and everything. Some of the better ones in the recent movies and everything. So I will say I did like a lot of the characters in this one. And the kills in this movie, there's some really good kills in here. Especially, like I said, especially Claire's kill. Hers is really good. Although it is kind of like a mimicking of the waterbed honeymoon suite kill in Bride of Chucky. Chucky breaks this window, the sky window, and the glass shatters and decapitates her and everything. It's a really cool kill and everything, though, and kind of a cool callback to Bride of Chucky. But I think my favorite kill in here, though, is Dr. Foley. There's a big twist at the end of the movie where we find out that Chucky has figured out how to put his soul into a bunch of different objects and stuff, and he ends up actually winning in this movie and getting his soul put into Nika's body, and she stomps Dr. Foley's face and everything, and the character really deserves it because he kind of has been taking sexual advantage of her and stuff and assaulting her, and it's really kind of a satisfying death and everything. And Chucky is like even shocked and stuff by the way this guy is. He's like, I don't know if I should be mad at him or take notes or something like that. It was one of his funny lines in here. And the multiple Chuckies thing, it doesn't make a lot of sense how it works and everything, because you would think that he wouldn't be able to split his soul into a bunch of different objects. It's like, I mean, he's not Voldemort or something, but I even though I think it doesn't make sense, I like it, though. I think watching the three Chuckies together goofing off and stuff was a lot of fun. I could have taken another 30 minutes of just that and everything, watching these multiple Chuckies goofing off and killing people and stuff. And when they killed the nurse and everything, that was a pretty fun kill to watch. It's really over the top and everything, but it was fun to watch and everything. And their little jokes and stuff that they had with each other was a blast, and everything. So I think it's dumb that they did the multiple Chuckies, but at the same time I also liked it because it was funny and everything, and so it doesn't really bother me that bad. It's not logical, but I can suspend my disbelief. I mean, it is a human stuck in a doll's body and everything. You gotta suspend disbelief on some things. Not everything has to be realistic. But I really liked the ending, though. Like, this movie had a pretty dark ending and everything. Like, for the franchise, most of the time Chucky's defeated and all that, but this movie he really wins and everything. Andy ends up getting locked up in the asylum and stuff, and it's hinted at that he's going to be framed for the murders of all the people in the hospital and stuff, but it's not really said for sure what's going to happen with Andy. And that was something I didn't like, though. It was the one thing I don't really like, how Andy got put into the asylum. He just punches a security guard and they throw him in there. It's like, yeah, you ain't gonna get thrown into an asylum for punching a security guard. You're not really threatening and stuff like that. It didn't really make a lot of sense, unless of course they were just putting him in there until the cops could get there to take him to a regular jail or something. But that part didn't make any sense. But we still got that really cool showdown with the Chucky with the weird haircut and Andy and everything. That was a really cool showdown. We actually got to see Andy really beat the crap out of Chucky and stuff after all these years of being tormented by him and stuff. That was kind of cool and everything. I just wish they would have done more with Andy in this movie. I was disappointed with that, but aside from that, it's a fun movie. It does have a little bit of a pacing issue too, though. Like, the movie could have been a little bit better paced and everything. It's only an hour and a half, so it doesn't like slow down to a whole. It's not like one of those movies that's hard to get through like Seed of Chucky is, but it is kind of a slow movie at times and everything. But all in all, I really do like Cult of Chucky, and I think it's a really fun entry in the franchise. I don't think it's near as bad as a lot of people do. I know a lot of people that have said that this is one of their least favorites in the franchise, and it's definitely not one of my most favorites, but it's definitely not as bad as everyone says. Like I said, this is one of my favorite horror, or actually it is my favorite horror franchise, so even the weaker ones I usually get some kind of enjoyment out of, and aside from Seed, yeah, so I definitely enjoyed Cole. I'd say I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really fun movie, and not quite as good as some of the others, but it's still definitely worth checking out, and everything. So I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm looking forward to the show, and hopefully we'll get more movies too, because I'd love to see where they take this franchise after this movie and everything. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Cult of Chucky, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.